scoring. You know, we know she's capable of big numbers, and she finds herself at the line.
Only averaged, and I say only, but only averaged 12.5 points per game last year. That's a number that the Flames probably, Laura, I'm guessing this season, maybe want to see 15, 16 plus?
Oh, I think so. I think they would have been, I think Kayla had such a big year last year, and I think fatigue played some part of it. She started off slowly, but we know how capable she is, as is this player, Carly Ernst, from the three-point line.
Loves the trailing three. It is an open game at the moment. There's not a whole lot of defense being played. And Carly Ernst takes full advantage from the land of plenty. Shanice Swain right back. Doesn't get it to go.
I like how Southside are really pushing tempo right now. They're trying to get the ball down the floor before Sydney are set, but that was a great defense.
Scoring hasn't been a massive issue for them. The focus, we're guessing, will be on this end of the floor, having allowed 90 plus in both of their two open. With the right hand and gets it to go.
Nice little move by Swain. I haven't seen her play yet. I sort of was watching a bit of her in round one when I got back from my trip, but wow, that was nice.
So Flyers with the early 1 point advantage, just over 2 minutes played so far in this one. Haven't seen the ball much in Hillman's hands. She gets her opportunity now, kicks out to Ernst. And she can't get that one to drop, and Celeste Taylor will come back down the other end and get things going for Sydney.
It was a really nice block out by Michaela Roof.
Too big. It's a charge.
Ooh.
Push off called on Kayla George, but not much of an argument, so I think she might have known that one was coming.
And you could see Guy Malloy in the background just clapping his hands. He's going, yep, good move, Kayla. I want you to do that. He was happy with that, and it was a good inside look.
One of those ones that tends to get called when you do get the mismatch down low.
Yeah.
It's the size difference wreaking a little bit of havoc. Didn't see much of Alice Kunek either, and she gets fouled looking for the entry pass there from Hillman.
Alice Kunek is tough to defend because we could see on that baseline cut she's able to post her player up. They look for her in that. She had that mismatch, but she's so lethal from outside as well.
She is a bit of a matchup nightmare as Cole comes off the curl and hits the little short corner too, but she's got the range and the mobility to be able to take bigger players out of the perimeter and then vice versa with smaller defenders.
Definitely, and that's why she was there. We see a hand. Great deflection, but Alice Kunek was also named in the Team of the Week in the first round, and so, for her coming back to Melbourne, her hometown where her family lives, I think she's really relishing playing with Southside.
Averaging 39 minutes per game through those first two games as well, so we'll keep an eye on how many minutes she plays, but expect a big night for her as Brancatisano, happy 30th, goes bang from three.
That was the exact right positioning on a dribble penetration baseline. Get to that corner, perfect pass. Finishes.
Ernst a good catch and just wasn't allowed the space to land, so it'll be baseline ball here for the Flyers, and they dropped a nice little play last time out, so we'll see if they can go to the well again. See what Coach Harrower has in the arsenal.
It's always great as a coach and a team when you can execute an out-of-bounds play, scorer's mentality, and come off and get a good bucket.
Go to Ernst. Nice inside pivot to the jumper. That was a sweet look from Carly Ernst.
Really, it was Beck Cole's cut that set that up because the defense just had to step off a little bit.
Swain with the no-look pass, a little too strong. She did have a good time passing the ball in the open, had 9 assists, but might want that one back.
Yeah.
But always a good sign, though, if you're sitting courtside, be ready to shoot it, Laurie.
That's
because
right.
you never know when you might
Exactly.
get it. Cole turns the corner, and Kayla George with the rebound. Flyers with the early little advantage. Taylor just went herself no. Michaela Roof, kick out to Brancatisano for three.
Wow.
Yes, again.
What a smart move by Michaela Ruth, because in fact she could have gone up herself, just leaned into that defender, but she saw Izzy that had just shot the three, got the ball into her hands, and was well rewarded.
As we all know, best three-point looks come off offensive rebounds. Hillman doesn't get that one to go. Tussle on the rebound. And it's going to go against the Flames, so it's going to stay with Southside. And Naz Hillman, haven't seen too much of her in this game so far, just her first shot attempt, and we have played a tick over 4 minutes.
Well, we have to remember who she's playing against, should I say, Michaela Roof, Kayla George.
Nobody guards Carly Ernst, and they get led off there, but only momentarily because Maddie Rocci with the O board scoops through and scores.
Good perseverance by Maddie Rocci, probably almost the shortest player on the court, coming up with that O board and finishing.
So ball through hands here for the Flames, single digits on the shot clock. Kick across corner, Kayla George gets it to go. Both teams firing some early punches in this one. Flames wrestle back the lead. Rocci, they go under the screen. Nice. She says, I'll have all 3 of those, Laurie. It's all happening.
Isn't it great when we can see such high-quality basketball from the three-point line, players confident to take it, nailing them, both teams.
This is mid-season type of shooting. Another one on its way here for Sydney, and that one was just a little bit off from Sherry Kalia. Maybe somebody opened up the back door.
Is this the sort of game it was that the Flyers had against Geelong, where it was really close, back and forth, not much in it throughout the whole game. In fact, in the third quarter, there were 8 lead changes. So neither team has been able to, establish any ascendancy at this stage.
Newman gets her opportunity in the low block, and that was a nice step through, wasn't it, Laurie?
Well, and she did a step through with a lot of poise, a little up fake, got Kayla George out of the stance, and then was able to finish it nicely.
Backdoor cut. The help defense is really good, but the great extra pass, and Michaela Roof was there for the finish for Sydney.
So really good player movement off the ball. We just saw Michaela Roof there, just moving to that dunker spot, and just a nice little pass. So that's a recognition by your teammates that that's what's going to happen when somebody gets the ball in a certain position.
Here's Kunek, swings through on the left, a little too strong. We just talk about the ball moving around, and we shouldn't be too surprised. Against Geelong, the Flyers had 25 assists on 32 made baskets, and as I mentioned off the top, round 1, Sydney against the Caps had 30 assists on 36 made field goals, so the ball does move around for both teams. Which is what you want for all you basketball purists out there. I know this dribble one-on-one, although that was a pretty nice one-on-one move. But no direct result for his shot. Great defensive play, but Kayla George on the backdoor cut.
The big to big. Carly Ernst had her hand up because she knows that Roof has shot the ball really well the game before, but Kayla George, nice cut to the basket.
Ernst open again for 3, and again, Sydney just get... Game's not quite great offensive rebound, but hit the deck and hit it hard was Kalia. Kunek doesn't get it to go. Up and back, there is some tired players out there early in this one. Another 3 on its way, not quite that time from Carla Pittman, who had a good game against the Caps, 13 points, 4 assists.
There really hasn't been a stoppage in play.
Both teams just looking for a whistle of any sorts at the moment, just to get a breather in.
I'm just watching Beck Cole, who we know is just got such an engine, and I want to keep an eye on her because, well, there you go, Naz Hillman, finally there's a stoppage in play. But Beck, we know, can just go, and the couple of layups opportunities she's missed, to me, just looked a little bit tired, didn't have the legs. But certainly, well, she's subbed off now, but I think a few players would be gasping at this stage.
You see Alice Kunek head off to the bench as well, which, as I mentioned earlier, not something we see too often.
Yeah.
Also, it'd be interesting to see if Kayla George just adjusts her defense. That's twice now Hillman's done that step-through move on the post-up, so let's see the next time those two go at it in the low block to see if she does anything different, although I'm not sure we're going to get an opportunity soon because I think she's heading to the bench at the moment. So Flyers lead by 3, 19-16. We've got 2:10 to play here in what has been an entertaining first quarter. And Swain stepped out of bounds and the Flyers will get another opportunity.
Well, we have to remember, too, when we talk about just a little bit of fatigue, is that the Flyers just played on Thursday night, and so Sydney have had since last Sunday, so there's certainly a difference in the scheduling there, and so you can understand Coach Christy Harrow making her some early subs, trying to really manage minutes so that come the fourth quarter, you know, you can still have some legs left.
Interesting one for you, Laurie. Would you rather a bit of a jam schedule at the start because you find a get up to speed a little bit quicker, or would you like it a little bit more spread because of that fatigue factor?
Oh, good question.
Got one for the season, thanks, Laurie.
You know, I think early on those jammed in is actually quite hard because you're still learning your systems. You're still, yes, you've had preseason, but you haven't necessarily, you know, built up that stamina. Having said that, though, you know, towards the end of the season, it can work reverse situation. Maddie Rocci, good finish to the basket. So basically, I'm going to say I'm not sure.
Maddie Rocci there swinging through, flicking it up, flipping it in, and we'll go to the free throw line for one more. And it's a great chance to shout out Signet. Stay powered with Signet, Australia's favourite power bank brand. Keep your devices charged and never miss a moment. Visit signet.com to find your perfect power bank. That's signet.com, CYGNETT.
Well, interestingly, both coaches are backing their players to get through this, to fight through this. A nice three-point shot there by Swain. Neither of them have called a... There you go. Neither. I was just thinking, nobody's used a timeout. Give your players a rest.
So timeout on the floor, all knotted up at 21 apiece. We've got 67 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. It's been back and forth. Maddie Rocci, 7 points and 3 assists, so has played a big part in the start of this game. There's no doubt about that. Hillman with 5 for the Flyers, as well as Carly Ernston. Well, for the Flames, it's been a mixed bag, but Kayla George and Isabella Brancatisano both with 6 points each. Laurie, have you seen the first almost 9 minutes of play? It's been up and down. It's been a hectic pace. It's been incredible at some stages and maybe not so incredible.
Yeah, look, I think the three-point shooting for both teams is, you know, they put up a lot of shots. Southside are shooting at 25%, Sydney are shooting at 33%. But it's the pace of the game right now, and so to me, that will show up, maybe not the second quarter, third, but come the fourth quarter, if it maintains this pace, you'd have to think that Sydney have that advantage. So I would say that the Flyers, yes, they want to push the ball, they want to play, but they've got to be careful that they don't, you know, burn out too early, so to speak.
Which is good considering they're playing the Flames. That was good for them.
There you go.
Like that one. Make sure you're following all the live stats of today's game in the free WNBL app. You can also check out game highlights, team and player info, and plenty more. Download it from the App Store today. Check out the WNBL app. Get all those stats that we're talking about here on the coverage. Tough move and a good defensive play from Yamaya Morris, who we haven't seen a heap of so far this season. Limited minutes in that first game. Swain, like the one she got earlier, and a little strong there. But Yamaya Morris, just the 9 minutes, 3 fouls against the Caps. So good to see her out on the floor, and hopefully she can have an impact for the Flames. Michaela Vaughan, another import who's in a similar spot to her. So keeping an eye on both of those. And Morris on cue comes in for 2.
Just a nice little dive to the basket and a great pass by Swain to find her, and soft hands and a finish.
So one shot, you would think there's about a second differential between game clock and shot clock, although Dallas Luffridge saw a look that she liked, and not sure the coach would have liked it as much.
Yeah, exactly.
Gives the ball right back to the Flames. Clock winding down. Swain on her way, comes in, the hoop plus the harm, and she'll go to the line for one more.
So that's where you go now. She missed that, gave them lots of time to run down the floor. So now you're looking at potentially a 5-point swing in just a matter of those last remaining seconds. So, yeah, probably not the best decision.
Which is massive in what's been a really tightly contested opening quarter. Swain makes the free throw. Ernst just goes hockey pass.
Wow.
Could be a chance. Luffridge can't get the shot to drop. It almost worked out for the Flyers, but we've got 1 quarter in the books, and it's the visitors, the Sydney Flames, looking to go 2-0, who have the early advantage. They lead 26-21. Hello and welcome back to the Signet WNBL clash between the Southside Flyers and the Sydney Flames. It was an up and down, hectic first quarter. If you're just joining us, my name is Matt Hickey. I'm joined by the legend that is Laurie Chiswick. And Laurie, we've had a chance just to catch our breath here in the commentary booth, which is saying something because we're doing nothing. We're sitting down here, but they were the ones doing the work. But it was tiring just to watch, and the Flames with a handy last 30 seconds there, Laurie.
Well, it was. I'm sure that, you know, that last decision by Luffridge, you know, and you can't, I mean, she felt like she had a wide open layup. You take that opportunity, but that was just that little bit of a swing. So certainly going into this fourth, feels like a long time already. Going into the second quarter, I feel like Sydney's just got that little bit of an edge right now, but look, the leadership of somebody like Kayla George, the experience of Southside, you know, 5 points is nothing.
Kayla George, you mentioned 6 points, 5 rebounds in that first quarter, and it was Maddie Rochi, the star for Southside, who had 7 points and 3 assists. Both played every minute of the opening quarter. Rochi, I think, is going to get a break here to start the second, but Kayla George still out there on the floor.
Neither team have gone to the foul line very much. Southside are 1 for 2, you know, so the refs aren't calling a lot. The players are playing some pretty good defense, and Sydney are 3 for 3.
A lot of three-point shooting, which also maybe is one of those reasons. Speaking of, I thought Swain was about to launch one. She doesn't. Turned out to be a good pass, one extra, and there's Morris underneath, who's come in for some handy minutes.
Well, that was a great dribble penetration. Defense just came across to help, and you know, it's not easy finding a player, but it was a nice finish by Morris.
So the Flames just extend that lead momentarily. Alice Kunet was quiet in the first quarter, but gets a handy triple right there. Going to get the ball right back here, the Flyers, so good opportunity to build some momentum out of that quarter time break.
Well, when you come out, Alice Kunik, she hasn't shot from outside. I think that was her first 3 that she took. So for her to nail that, and we know if she gets on a roll, there you go.
As you say, Laurie, steps into a little running jumper.
And that's why she's so hard to defend, Matt, because now you have to close out long. She just made that 3, a little runner. She uses her body well to do mismatches inside. She is, as you said, very difficult player to match up with.
That's 0 points in the first quarter, 5 straight out of the gate here. Bet Cole comes in and scores, and we've got a quick timeout on the floor. Coach Guy Malloy says, I have seen enough. 1 minute and 5 seconds in, and the Flyers have come out with an early punch.
Well, you need to call a timeout straight away and just settle your charges and go, okay, you know, it's about momentum, and you've got to try and stem the momentum every time. And certainly the Flyers have come out from that quarter-time break and really taken it up a notch.
They certainly have, and it was a little 7-0 run after Morris scored the first points of the second quarter. So all tied up now at 28-28. And we mentioned Alice Kunek, and she comes into this game averaging 23.5 points per game, 8 rebounds. And there's some big numbers after an injury-impacted season last year for the Fire. Of course, coming off a little bit of time with the Opals as well, was almost in that team and was in the team, wasn't in the team, back and forth. But we're just seeing now what she's truly capable of.
I think it's, you know, I give somebody like Kunek full credit. You know, it was disappointing for her. She did everything right as far as Opal's selection to put her hand up. It was a really tough decision for Sandy Brondello and the coaching staff. But she would have been really disappointed. And then, so to come back and just go, okay, I'm with a new team. I'm going to continue to play well, improve my game, work hard. You give players full credit for that because it's not easy.
Maybe coming out with a bit of a point to prove here in WNBL 25. Back out here on the floor, 28 apiece. And a nice set straight out of the timeout. And as a coach, Laurie, you have to love that. You call a timeout, you maybe give just a little bit of a roast, and your team comes out and executes well out of the timeout.
Well, he would have drawn that up or said, this is the play we're going to run, high-low action between Ruth and George. And, yeah, it was executed perfectly.
Here's Hillman. Vaughan tried to establish down low. Luffridge with a nice step back into the long mid-range two, and it's good.
All of a sudden, the Flyers are playing with a lot of confidence.
Nobody was guarding Brancatisano, and her third triple of the game. They've left her open, and she's taken full advantage. And a really hot start to both teams, scoring again. Adam Max, Kunek tries to lean into the floater, maybe try to draw a foul, and shot near ball.
Either that or she was of two minds whether she was going to shoot it or pass it, but it was a bit indecisive.
Ball movement fantastic there for the Flames, and you're going to get a foul on the rebound. I think it's going to stay here with Sydney. One of those shots, Laurie, that you normally see go in when it's great offensive execution.
Did a great out-of-bounds play.
And Clark in for her first minutes of the WNBL season as well. This last week with a quad injury, but only minor, so she's back out here in round 2.
Good to see her. She had a great season, a bit of a breakout season last year for Sydney.
Just turn the ball over there, bit of the commentator's curse, we'll take that one. Beck Cole saw a little gap, took it hard at the rack, couldn't get the finish to go. Those are those layups you were talking about earlier. Laurie just hasn't quite found the touch, but likes the mid-range jumper, and maybe that will get Beck Cole going.
Yeah, look, they need her, you know, she's dynamic off the dribble. She, you know, she's a good facilitator as well, but they need her firing.
Michaela Roof from 3, no. A great day at the office last week shooting it from out there. Good hustle and pressure from Celeste Taylor. Comes up with the steal. Pulls up for 3 in transition. Left it very, very well short. But Celeste Taylor was ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Was a Big Ten Coaches Defensive Player of the Year. So she's an absolute pest on that end of the floor. And after the hot start, both teams have cooled, to say the least, Laurie.
Isn't that always the way?
Quiet little few minutes, and it gets a lot quieter right there as Celeste Taylor bounces it off her boot. Flyers will get the ball back. Sydney 1-point lead as Kayla George heads to the bench for her first rest of the day. Of course, this is game 1 in the doubleheader. We've got Adelaide and Perth going head-to-head later on at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, so make sure you check into that one as well. Nice up fake from Beck Cole, but left it well short. Might have even got a little hand on it there, Taylor. So can someone break the little drought that both teams have got at the moment? Roof likes this matchup down low. Backdoor pass was nice. Maya Morris couldn't finish. And again, there's a lid on the basket at both ends. Kunek's running very hard. And a big block, and Emma Clark has a few words to say about it as well.
Oh, is that a little stare down there? Emma Clark,
said,
her
not
first
in my
time.
house.
Yeah, exactly. She says, I'm back.
It was a great rim run from Alice Kunek, and Emma Clark just said, no, no, no.
Oh, she'd be loving being back. It's so hard when you're injured and you're so close to getting back, and you go, we'll you know, take another week. So she'd be relishing being out there.
Ernst for three, again left it short, and she's probably quite a good matchup for Kunek in terms of players across the league that can stay with Alice on both the inside and the outside. Again, another turnover, so things a little bit sloppy, but both coaches letting them play at the moment. Obviously, Guy Malloy burnt the timeout early, doesn't want to call another one, and their struggles aren't hurting them at the moment because Southside have got struggles of their own, but Kunek is having a pretty good quarter.
So that's just a great classic inside out. Dribble penetration, defense sees Kunek out at the three-point line, through the defender, and a nice look.
Pass into Morris, can't quite get it to go. Flyers lead by 2, again pushing the ball in transition. It's been a clear focus for them. Ernst, one more to Cole, line drive, triple on its way. Not quite. Tip out from Kunek was good, and they can reset. Rochi Hillman gave the little fend off, and it was called. Has complaints with the official, but it looked pretty clear from this position.
Back on that roll. We can see here she has her defender, but just that little nudge. Referees right there could not do anything but call that. She just extended her arm bar up a little bit, enough to warrant a call.
It's a good defensive play from Branca Dezano there, who had been switched on and had to deal with the mismatch. Backdoor pass, not quite on the same level there, George and Swain. So another turnover, and both teams really starting to rack them up at the moment. That is number 9, I believe, for the Flames. And heavy bit of contact between Rochi and Branca Dezano.
It's a bit of just a grind right now, isn't it, Matt? It's you know, some turnovers, some shots not dropping. See if the Southside can execute something here.
I think it'd want to find it in the hands of Kunek. It did briefly. She's the only one in this quarter from either team that's really looked like consistently scoring. Another foul called on the Flames there. It's number...
Just a little bit of a shove as she was trying to get over top of that on-ball screen.
Here is Kunek. Left that one short. Swain will take it back the other way.
I feel like all the Flyers threes, when they shoot them and they don't drop, are all short. And that, again, just could be the legs. They just need to make sure that they're really getting into their shot. But
talk about a lid on the rim. You don't see Alice Kunek miss many of those. She's the only one who's really been able to score consistently. Did everything but drop. Kayla George, she can't get it to go. Well, Laurie, welcome back.
Well, there we go.
35-33, and it was high quality through a big patch of the first really 12 to 14 minutes, and the last 3 or 4 has dried right up. Can someone just break free of it at the moment? Shot clock winding down. Beck Cole has to just toss one up. We'll call it a pass, and Naz Hillman with the finish.
But, you know, neither team have really tried, you know, going strongly downhill and testing one-on-one defense and seeing if, you know, they can get a foul called. Another turnover there, 3-on-2 break advantage.
Nobody stopped the ball. Kayla George fouled Maddie Rochi, who's gone down hard into the sponsorship there, and see if she's okay. She stayed down for a little while here. Hit the ground very, very hard there, Laurie. As we can see on the replay, nobody stopped the ball, did the right thing, went hard to the basket. A fair play at the ball from Kayla George. And just a hard hit as she slowly now gets to her feet. The medical staff come over and just take a look at her.
Yeah, she was in full flight on that layup. She was going hard.
Maybe just the landing on the hip has just stiffened her up a little bit. So it's going to be a timeout, which will give her a chance just to catch her breath and relax into the 2 free throws she's about to take. But you can tell that one hurt, Laurie.
Oh yeah, you can just see her on the sideline there. I'm sure the medical staff there having a look at her.
And she seems to be all good because she tells them to just bugger off for the moment. I'm okay, let me focus in on what the coach has got to say. By the way, we're calling all sports teams, Laurie. Say goodbye to the travel headaches and say hello to CTM Sports. CTM are 100% committed to delivering excellence in their field. Leave the logistics to the travel experts so your athletes can focus on what they do best. Learn more at ctmsport.com.au. That's ctmsport.com.au.
You know, I mentioned the dribble penetration and you know, putting pressure on the rim. And while the teams are, the players are doing that, they're kicking it out to that 3-point line. And yes, you know, we've got our shooters, but neither team are shooting the ball well from the 3-point line. And, you know, an option is that instead of being out at the 3-point line, on that dribble penetration, get yourself to the elbow, slash into the basket. Just look at something different until those shots start dropping.
Flames committed 10 turnovers, with a big chunk of those coming here in the second quarter. Southside just the 2, but the Flames can probably count themselves a little bit lucky with that turnover differential, that they're not down by more as the lead jumps to 5 with that made free throw. And good to see Maddie Rocci up and happy to take her freebies at the line. So biggest lead of the game for either team at the moment now stands at 6. Flames have had their struggles offensively in this quarter. Just the 7 points. Desperate for a basket. Can Swain be the one who answers the call? She won't be. Again, they push the ball. Rocci put straight into the leg of Swain. Almost like she meant to get it back. The Harlem Globetrotters about that. Cole eventually finds it, steps into the mid-range too. Just will not go for either team at the moment. Beck Cole comes up with it and scores and says, come on, get around me.
That's right. Feet in the paint, offensive rebound, somebody score.
Kayla George just hesitated on that 3, and it might be because they're struggling a little bit to hit from outside here in the second. Kalia this time, yes, and finally into double digits for the quarter. Go the Sydney Flames.
Well, and you know, that's the converse of what I was saying before, is that if you are a shooter, you have to be able to be prepared. Like Kalia there, she is a 3-point shooter, hands ready, whatever the situation, know that you're going to shoot that ball.
She was, no hesitation, as you said, and it was that confidence. Stepped into it and buried it and cut the lead back down to 5. So the Flyers now 9 skins on the shot clock. That ball came off the boot of the Flames.
Flames have only scored 10 points this quarter.
Beck Cole into the 2, and maybe that little layup off the O board has been the catalyst for it.
Or even the pull-up J. You know, go around your defender.
Kings are people practice time and time again in individual training. Great extra pass. Pittman for 3. Finally, the Flames see another triple go down.
They really needed that to just steady the ship.
So back-to-back triples. First time we've seen back-to-back 3s from them for a little while. Lead cut to 4, 60 seconds to play. Rocci into a deep 2. No dice.
Good decision by Rocci. Her defender went under the screen, so, you know, she has to shoot that.
Came into this game without actually attempting a 3-point shot. And she's 1 of 3 so far here from deep, and just took a knock here, and it will be an offensive foul. And again, a lot of blood there on the floor. Might have just opened up her eye, so that was a heavy, heavy hit, and we're going to get the medical staff out here on the floor to look to come and help out Maddie Rocci. So,
and there'll be a bit of time because you have to go through the blood protocol when you're cleaning the court off and that. But first and foremost is Maddie Rocci, and hopefully she's okay.
Great sportsmanship from Isabella Brancatisano as well, who jumped over across straight away to Maddie Rocci and looked to help her out, as now the medical staff is with her. So getting the right attention at the moment in what has been an up and down game, 43-39 at the moment with 42 seconds left in the first half, as we see Bet Cole just, I think, looking just to calm down Maddie Rocci. Always scary when you get a hit like that and the blood starts going. So getting the attention she needs as Guy Malloy takes the opportunity just to chat to his team. You mentioned their struggles, just the 13 points in this quarter, but up until about a minute or two ago, they only had 7, Laurie.
Yeah. Yeah, Guy Malloy would be, you know, a little bit concerned about the way they came out this quarter, and we talked about it earlier. Southside, out of that quarter time break, just were on fire, went whack, whack, took the lead, and really they've dominated this half.
Yeah, they certainly have. 22-13 quarter so far for the Flyers, and we've mentioned it a few times, but it's the turnovers up to 11 now. For the Flames, George has 8 and Brancatizano has 9. 8 and 8 for Kayla George, as we see the crowd applauding there for Maddie Rocci as she exits the court. So she's up and walking around, which is a great sign, and just some pressure applied to that spot where she copped the knock, and the crowd giving a nice little ovation.
And that's the thing, that soft spot just above the eye, if it gets cut, the blood really does, unfortunately, come out. So the next thing will be just to clean the court. And it's unfortunate with only 42 seconds left that, you know, this has happened. And we have to remember, just a couple of plays before that, Maddie Rocci, you know, fell heavily on a layup and a foul by Kayla George. So she needs this halftime break, Maddie Rocci.
Yeah, going through the walls a little bit, but hopefully she's all good, and regardless of whether we see her in this game again or not, but we hope we do. But getting the right attention. She's having a good game as well, 9 points and 3 assists. And this little break in play, good chance to thank our friends over at Ford Dealers. They love to see their WNBL sporting heroes and Aussie families conquering their goals. And it's easy to conquer the everyday in the 7-seat Ford Everest Sport SUV. Find the Everest that's right for you at your local Ford dealer. We're back underway. Good job from the game day crew to go in and help Maddie Rocci and clean up the blood and get this game back going as Cole steps in 2-2, and it's the mid-range jumper, Laurie.
It is. She wasn't shooting from the three-point line.
Let's see if the Flames have an answer. Looking down low to the feed, George, and there's going to be a foul on the entry pass. But long live the mid-range. I hate the people that say the mid-range is... Hate's a very strong word. I dislike the people who say that the mid-range is dead. Because if you're open, you've just got to shoot it, Laurie.
I'm with you. If you can get by that first line of defense, and before that second line of bigs comes at you from a split line, then it's a great shot. I mean, there's been some brilliant players that have had, you know, wonderful mid-range shots.
The clock beats the Flyers there, and that will do us for the first half. It was up and down in that second quarter. It had a little bit of everything, but it was a quarter that the Flyers won 24-13 in front of their home crowd. They lead 45-39 at the main break.
I shoot like a girl.
Jane Hamilton.
Shot on the buzzer is good. Sammy Whitcomb.
I block like a girl.
And the block came from George. Sharp over the top of the denial.
I rebound like a girl.
Hillman again on the O-glass.
Rattles out.
There's Bailey, the 2. Average 20 points a game.
I move like a girl.
Kayla George fires back.
And that's what makes us great.
Celebrating 50 years of sneakers?
For a delicious dinner that disappears and lets you squeeze in one more episode before bed. Pick up Latina Fresh, Australia's favourite pasta and sauce. Latina, we got the weeknight.
I shoot like a girl.
Jaden Melbourne. Late shot on the buzzer is good. Sammy Whitcomb.
I block like a girl.
And the block came from George. Sharp over the top of the denial.
I rebound like a girl.
Gilman again on the O glass.
Rattles out.
There's Maley, the two. Average 20 points a game.
I move like a girl.
Kayla George fires back.
And that's what makes us great.
For a delicious dinner that disappears and lets you squeeze in one more episode before bed. Pick up Latina Fresh, Australia's favourite pasta and sauce. Latina, we got the weeknight.
Hello and welcome back to the State Basketball Centre. It's half-time here in what has been a thrilling contest, an up-and-down contest between the Southside Flyers and the Sydney Flames. The Flyers lead 45-39, and Laurie Chiswick, we've seen a little bit of everything in this game, some great individual play, some great defence, some interesting moments, but at the moment the Flyers holding on to the advantage as they look for their first win.
Well, and one of the key things that I think the reason of that is they've taken the ball, care of the ball exceptionally well. They only have 2 turnovers compared to Sydney, who have 11 turnovers. And I feel like that Southside have really punished Sydney on some of those turnovers and actually could have punished them more had there not been some early missed layups. But right now you have to feel like Southside's got the ascendancy.
And both teams at the moment on track for around 80 plus points in this game. The Flames maybe just a tick under based off their first half score. But Laurie, it's a trend we've been seeing to start the very early periods of this WNBL season, scoring really at a high.
Well, I just did some quick calculations before this game, and right now across all 8 teams, the average per game is 84 points. And last year, when you look at the whole season, it was 78 points. So I think it takes a bit of time for defensive structures to kick in, so perhaps that scoreline comes down. Or maybe we're just going to see more prolific scoring this year. Ask me this at the end of the season or mid-season, and we'll have another look at the numbers.
Something worth keeping an eye on, no doubt about that. And as we see from those numbers, Beck Cole, 14 points and 8 rebounds. She's cleaning the glass, equal leading rebounder, top scorer across the game. She's having a big impact despite a somewhat slowish start in the opening parts of that first quarter. So the Flyers 45 and the Flames 39. And, well, Laurie, you mentioned the great play that we've already seen in terms of scoring, and well, from round one there were some serious, fantastic plays. Let's check out the top 5 from round one. And another backdoor cut.
That's just fantastic condition.
5 seconds to go on the shot clock. Alicia Frolling's got the open floor. Hard foul came across. No. Good clean.
Melbourne again, the take, and again she'll go to the free throw line for one more. It's like a really concerted effort from Melbourne to get to the paint, get to the rim.
Kaiser into the ball game. Sat for quite some time with those 3 personal fouls, Kaiser. Hook with the handle. Little shitty move and the scoop up and in for the finger roll lay-in.
Finds Wilson in transition. Great drop-off pass.
Oh! Highlight reel stuff.
Hello and welcome back. State Basketball Center, Flyers up against the Flames. And we take a look at some of the highlights that we've seen throughout this quarter, and it's been up and down, and that probably not a highlight, Laurie. No light. It was a big hard hit. The elbow from Michaela Roof, and Maddie Rocci got opened up, but she quickly got help from the medical staff, got taken off the floor. They cleaned things up, and we're as soon as we get an update, we'll provide it to you for the audience. She was having a great game up until that point as well. 9 points and 3 assists, 2 steals. So a great performance so far from Maddie Rocci. We hope, first of all, that she's all good. Second of all, that she can carry on tonight because she's an important part for the Flyers, Laurie.
Well, the good thing about, not the good thing about her getting injured, but they do have Dallas Luffridge to come in that point guard position, who's, you know, had she's just an up-and-coming player and is very dynamic as well. So hopefully we'll see Maddie Rocci back. But, you know, it's one of those things that if it does happen in a game, you've just got to be able to cover it.
No doubt about that. Well, speaking of her backcourt teammate, Beck Cole, performing very well. We mentioned just before we went into that break, 14 points, 8 rebounds. The 8 rebounds really stands up. 2 offensive. We saw her have at least 1 score off that as well. She's proving to be a catalyst at the moment for the Flyers, and probably in what was a bit of a tussle through the middle part of that second quarter has been the difference in this game.
100%. And I think that I thought she had a particularly slow first quarter, and I mentioned I thought she just looked a little fatigued, but I feel like she got her second win. We can see Maddie Rocci with the headband now, the tape on her, so she's back. But I thought Beck Cole's second quarter, she let the game come to her. So we saw her do up fake, 1 dribble, pull up into a mid-range jump shot. She did that a couple of times. She got a no board. So she was finding different ways to score when her perimeter shot wasn't falling as much. But again, as the captain, she's a real catalyst into how this Southside Flyers play.
Well, there you go, Maddie Rocci back out on the floor. You called it a headband, which I like, Laurie. I think she'll like the fact that you've called it a headband. But she's all patched up. She looks like she's ready to take part in the second half. What a big boost for the Flyers. Not only just in terms of the talent that she brings to the floor, but you see a player go down in what was a scary incident, and she's right back up and ready to go for the second half. It's a good morale lift as well. So Maddie Rocci rocking what Laurie Chiswick has labelled the headband, which I like.
It matches her hair. I think it's a good look. It's, you know, she looks good. There you go.
And she looks like she's probably about to start the second half as well. So good signs for Maddie Rocci and everyone watching. I'm sure everyone just breathing a sigh of relief because it was a bit of a nasty injury. We head into the second half, and Laurie, for the Flames, turnovers obviously the big thing for them. Committed 11 so far in the first half, most of those coming in the second quarter. Aside from look after the ball, what do you think Guy Malloy's message would have been at the break?
Well, Guy is really big on his systems and his belief in the system, and so he will be reinforcing that. And he always says, you know, we talked at the beginning that Southside had 4 returning players. Well, Sydney only have 3 returning players, so it's still about establishing the pillars of the team, as he has pointed out, and what we stand for as a group. So that's the sort of things he'd be focusing on, some really specific things as far as, you know, taking care of the ball, as we mentioned. I think a message should be, and I'm sure it was, is to continue to push the ball, continue to make Southside have to match up early, because against Geelong, it was back and forth, and in fact, I think it was sort of 24 seconds left. Southside were still up then, and then lost that game by 3. So, you know, that's something for Sydney. They want to go, we need to keep pushing. It might not benefit till the last half of the last quarter, but that would be a good, strong message, I would say.
Let's see how the Flames respond. Now, this season, the WNBL is taking a stance against domestic violence. Putting a stop to this is everyone's business. Make an effort to recognise warning signs, listen to survivors, and speak up. For more info, head to Full Stop Australia. That's Full Stop Australia. You can also scan the QR code on the screen there. A really important initiative from the WNBL. Back underway, Maddie Rocci.
Oh.
Maddie Rocci says, who cares about this so-called headband or whatever you want to call it on my head, and steps into a 3.
That would inspire her teammates and certainly get the crowd going when they see somebody that has come off a pretty bad injury and scores the first 3.
The mummified look working for Maddie Rocci.
Yeah, I told you it was a good look.
And big hit as well in terms of the scheme of the game. Pushed it out to the biggest. And the Flames have got a real issue on their hands, although just overcooks the layup a little bit there. Just needs something to get their scoring underway, get the confidence up the Flames after what was a light-on second quarter. Not sure if that was mentioned.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
She gets it back out to Swain, and there was a broken possession. And the Flyers have done a great defensive job on Michaela of just 2 shot attempts, only 2 points, and that's coming off a 25-10 game last week. Cole in the low block. Turnaround jumper off glass. She's got 16.
Well, she is just finding different ways to score, Bet Cole, and that is really high IQ basketball.
She's been... George, feet set, 3 on its way, and Kayla George with a handy knockdown triple. My goodness, did the Flames need that low?
They did. That margin was beginning to get a little worrisome.
And they come up with the steal there. Ruth might not be scoring, but still having an impact. An assist, a steal, and a no call and a missed layup, and a little slow to get up, but she looks okay. Someone's going to be open, but Ruth quick enough to get back, but the mismatch was what happened out of that little bit of transition, and Hillman scores 2.
And that was good of Hillman, just to hold that deep steal and be perseverant with it, because she knew that she had that mismatch.
Flames get another look here. Branca Dezano been fantastic on that slot cut, but it hasn't actually resulted in any baskets. Ruth up and under, got her own rebound, this time with the left, not quite. Hillman with a great rim run, and a fantastic job from Shanice Swain to break up what would have been a guaranteed 2. How's the closing speed from Shanice Swain? It looked like Hillman was going to have a wide open basket.
And sometimes a defensive play like that can just lift your teammates, that you know, she's going to put in that effort. We all need to put in that effort.
Great shout, Laurie. Let's see if it will work as a bit of a catalyst for the Flames. This is a really stagnant possession for the Flyers, and they're going to turn the ball over with an offensive foul. Just a miscommunication there, Laurie. Just nothing really happening. Nobody knew what was going on.
No, it was very, as you said, very stagnant.
So the Flames down by 10, won their opening round game against the Caps. They controlled that game from the outset, and now they have to play from behind and see if they can cut into this deficit. And that's not going to help. Turnovers were the issue in the first half, and they maybe continue to be in this one. Rochi flares to the corner, extra pass. Ernst, back iron.
That would have been a dagger had that gone down.
Swain steps through and she can't score. What a one-pass offense from the Flames, and Ernst stole it, but she stole it while she was out of bounds. Just flips it up over her head and walks away.
You have to think that the Flyers would be absolutely desperate to get this first win in front of their home crowd.
George lets one go and buries it. Kayla George says, you're not going to have it all your own way, Southside, back to 7.
And you got to know that she can take that. She's got that great range, Kayla George. Carly Ernst just needed to be a little bit closer.
Great roll, and the scoop through up and under a first layup, Naz Hillman. Good scrambling defense, turnover caused. Cole comes away with the steal. Might wait for the troops to arrive. Rochi somehow got it back, falling over to the ground again to Cole. One extra pass towards the Flyers. It was ugly, but they made it work.
Oh, let's draw that up as a play, because I'm not sure we'll ever see that again.
Love to know what you're going to call that one, Laurie.
Oh, dear me.
Deconstructed mess, I think we call that. But they walked away with 2. Kayla George followed her own shot and drew the foul. Great persistence, and it turns out persistence really does pay for Kayla George.
Well, Kayla George had a double-double last week with her last game with 23 points, 11 rebounds, and she's got 14 points and 10 rebounds already. So another double-double to Kayla George.
And is really upping the scoring to start the season after, as we mentioned, averaging 13 points per game last year. Well, Maddie Rochi has the knock to the head, not shying away from the contact at all at the moment. Really enjoying the physical nature of this contest. Kunek thought that Ernst was popping, and she wasn't on that occasion.
Well, you have to, you know, probably 75% of the time she does pop.
Yes, it's normally a safe bet.
It is pretty safe bet, but you do have to have that eye contact.
8-point game at the moment. Sydney trying to work their way back into this one. Just played over 5 minutes here in the third quarter. The quarter at the moment, the Flyers are leading marginally. George has been the one for Sydney. Step back 3, Kayla George. She's got a flamethrower at the moment.
Wow, that was guard-esque from Kayla George. Little sidestep, step back.
Says, get it into my hands and get out of the way. Kunek, make sure her feet are behind the line. They weren't in the end. Morris tiptoes the sideline like a wide receiver, but gets away with it. Dare say the ball should end up in the hands of Kayla George again. She finally does get it, double teamed. Fall away jump shot, maybe should have given that one up. Flames have brought it back to 5. A good answer, and almost a turnover caused there by Sherry Kalia, but they will keep it here. The Flyers 10 seconds on the shot clock.
This is this middle part of the quarter where we just tend to see things grind to a little bit of a halt.
Hands foul there called on Sherry Kalia, just a little too eager. Nobody really in foul trouble.
No, there hasn't been a lot of fouls again, as we talked about earlier.
And Naz Hillman scores and will go to the line once again, having a big say here in the third quarter. Naz Hillman, after what was a quietish start by her lofty stance.
Just look at that fend-off arm that when she comes back in, uses that, and then that, the other player has no chance really but to foul her. So really smart, really good finish by Hillman.
The footwork around the basket
Yes.
and the nous to know to use the ring as protection is at a very, very high standard, and she's really making it work to start WNBL 25. Oh, George thought she might have looked at that, had an inch of space and then threw a turnover, and I dare say Guy Malloy might be telling her, just let that thing fly if you've got that much space, Kate. The way she's shooting the ball here in the third quarter at least, she's got 20 points and 10 rebounds, and we've still got 13 and a half minutes of basketball to play. Here's Cole. Up, under. No dice, and Emma Clark will push the ball back the other way. Slip from George. Extra pass, and Morris puts it up, puts it in. Kayla George has had a hand in everything at the moment for Sydney.
And that's the sort of transition basketball that Sydney should look to do. Push the ball, get it up the floor quickly, force Southside to have to pick them up.
And an offensive foul called. And I think it's going to go against Beck Cole off the ball there. So an interesting one, hard one to pick up, but Beck Cole called for a push off the ball. And so Southside turn the ball back over to the Flames, lead down to 6. Just not going away at the moment. Kalia goes herself and just bit off a little too much there.
Oh, good anticipation by Hillman, knowing that if she's going to wrap it around, that's to Morris. That's where she wanted to be, and negated by a turnover, however.
Kalia got it right back. Emma Clark to the corner.
Happened. The Flames just kept plodding along, and great shot by Emma Clark. Welcome back to the WNBL 24-25 season, Emma Clark.
And nothing says modern day basketball more than a 3-on-1 and you flare out to the corner for the 3, Laurie. For times have changed, Laurie Chisholm.
I like it though, I feel like the coaches are encouraging players. I mean, we know Emma's a shooter too, so why not? She had, the players would have gone in to rebound, but yeah, that really brought this game back on its head now.
It's a layup for players nowadays, so why not? 3's always worth a little bit more than 2. So at the moment, 3-point ball game. Flames have just really managed to drag themselves back into the contest. Kayla George, she has 20 and 10, 2 assists, 3 of 5 from deep, and is proving to be a real factor here in the third quarter. Hillman's up to 14 with 7 boards for the Flyers. Brooke Cole 16 and 8, and Maddie Rochi has 12, 3 assists. Nasty little cut above the eyes.
And, we're talking about 3-point shooting, and the Flames were around the mid-20s, and they're now up to 41% from the 3-point line, 10 out of 24. So that's a good stat for them.
Let's see if they can keep it going. We're back underway after that timeout. Let's see what the Flyers have drawn up. Wanting to go to Hillman. Swings through. And a foul called. I was about to say a massive swat from Yamaya Morris, but a trip to the free throw line coming for Naz Hillman. Nobody too upset about the call. Always a sign that it was the right one. Guy Malloy with a little wry smile on the sideline as he makes the first. 3 of 3 from the free throw line so far tonight, and promise I wasn't trying to jinx her if she does miss this one, Laurie.
Phew.
And of course, she's too good for that. She's too good for the commentator's curse. She makes both 4 of 4 from the charity stripe so far tonight, and this will stay with the Flames.
I like how, as you mentioned, Maddie Rochi's not taking a backward step, up and in on defense, attacking offensively.
And played every minute of this third quarter as well, so she's been banged around a lot, but game It's turnovers again, up to 16 now, I think, with that one. Had 11 at the half, so 5 in this term. We've still got a little bit of time to play as well.
Well, in that first game when they had the big win against Canberra, they still had 20 turnovers for that game. So it is an issue. And sometimes that's early on when you're getting to know your teammates and what the cuts are and the systems that can happen. But certainly that's something Guy Malloy would want to address.
Nice finish from Dallas Luffridge there. Been playing some good minutes for the Flyers to start this season. Guarding Kalea. Kalea just made some space and not quite in position. Luffridge a little bit bemused by the call. Thought there was maybe a dropping of the shoulder, but didn't quite have defensive position. We get a good look there and maybe a little off arm. Rose up just a touch there, Rory, maybe?
No, I think she has a little bit of a case there.
And short on the first. Now, if you are out looking for a quick and easy weeknight dinner that the whole family will enjoy, pick up a family pack of Latina fresh pasta and sauce. Why not a weekday, whenever you want it. Ready in minutes and so delicious there won't be any complaints at the dinner table. Find Latina fresh in a chilled pasta aisle near you. And Laurie Chiswick, I'm hungry already. Didn't take long, did it?
Nice cut by Hillman.
This one on the ground, I believe. So Morris just jumped and bit at the up fake. But I think they're in the bonus, so it's going to be free throws to come nonetheless. They did point to baseline, but in the bonus, maybe, perhaps. It's going to result in 2 free throws either.
Yes. And Hillman shoots the free throws at 80%, so not somebody you want to foul.
They're both doing a good job of trying to put the commentator's curse on her at the moment.
I always forget about that. It's a good time to say what a great shooter they are, and then thank goodness she made those.
6 of 6 now from the free throw line. And defying every unwritten commentator's law that's out there, Naz Hillman. Emma Clark for a second triple of the quarter, not quite. And again, now the Flyers can push it outside of double digits. Watchy just had enough awareness to realise that shot was going to get blocked if she pulled up. Clark to bite at the up fake. Entry pass. Good catch from Vaughan. We haven't seen too much of her. Might have gotten away with a walk. She didn't get away with it at all. And Michaela Vaughan, just a tough one at the moment. That's the one player that they haven't quite got going to start the season, the Flyers.
Yeah, so you're not sure whether it's her taking time to adjust or, you know, what her skill set is that can complement the Flames.
Roof. The old-fashioned leg kick out. Clark, too strong. Drop the hands a little bit. It's one of those awkward ones where you get a little shot to the stomach and naturally your hands drop down, and that's when the foul gets drawn. So Emma Clark.
Shots. They need to make sure that they're keeping this margin, you know, within a reasonable amount, because it's 8 points right now.
Clark good on the first. With the Signet WNBL season launch kicking off at their reimagined store in Melbourne Central. Celebrate the hoop season by grabbing the latest kicks and apparel at your nearby Foot Locker, the official major partner of the WNBL. And I had a few people I know that were at that launch and say it is one of the very cool stores that they've ever been into. So head down to your nearby Foot Locker, and if you're around Melbourne Central, get to the new reimagined store. It is top notch. Another foul off the ball. But this Michaela Vaughan one is an interesting one, Laurie. So just 23 total minutes through the first 2 games. At the moment, she's played around 8 minutes in this game. Went to Notre Dame, won a national championship there, played in Italy, played in Belgium, Poland. I should say Notre Dame if you're talking American. So clearly a talented ball player, but whether it's just taking a little bit of time to get used to it on Australian shores, just not quite going to plan early in the season.
Well, I mean, I think you've got to give your imports a certain amount of time, but the coaching staff, you know, they'll get an idea whether they think that she's going to help them, whether she's somebody they want to keep on their roster. But I think they'll give her a little bit of time.
I'm not sure as well. Who knows, might be just recovering from
Yeah,
something
exactly.
as well. So plenty of the season to go. Kayla George. And that was one that was going at the start of the quarter, and that one very, very well short. There's 1.4 seconds on the clock here. Can the Flyers pull out something? No, Maddie Rocci just happy to get the ball inbounded and end what has been an entertaining third quarter, and one that the Flyers will be happy with because they go into the final break leading 67-58. Hello and welcome back for what is set to be a thrilling final quarter here at the State Basketball Centre. It's the Sydney WNBL. It's the reigning champs, the Southside Flyers. They have the advantage, looking to secure their first W of WNBL 2025 here against the Sydney Flames. If you're just joining us, where have you been, firstly? And secondly, my name is Matt Hickey. I'm joined by Laurie Chiswick. And Laurie, it's interesting for the Flyers. Seems like everyone's had a turn in each quarter. In the second quarter, we saw Beck Cole and Alice Kunek go about their business. First quarter, it was Maddie Rocci. And now in the third quarter, it was Naz Hillman's turn. She's up to 18 points and 7 rebounds.
Well, I think that's the difference, Matt. There's 4 players for Southside in double figures compared to 1 with Sydney's Kayla George with her 20 points and 10 rebounds. So they are certainly spreading the load of scoring around, which makes it much more difficult to guard as a team. So they'll want to continue to do that. Sydney, we know, can come back. It's only a 9-point deficit, but boy, I tell you what, Southside, as we mentioned, they're 0-2 right now. This is their first home game. They're in front of their crowd. You can just see the look of determination on their face.
Now, I want to push the lead out early because on Thursday night, it was a clutch, tight game, and it was one they'd want to forget. They had Taya Burrows, who we haven't seen we've seen for about, I think, 2 minutes in this game. She hit the go-ahead basket with about 23 seconds left, and then Geelong got it back, took the lead, and then 2 turnovers for the Flyers. They had opportunities to win the game. They threw it away, so they'll want to get out in front, not let it be close down the stretch, although Kayla George might have a little say about that. 2 misses, 2 rebounds, and now a baseline ball. She wasn't happy with it, but they're going to get the ball back,
well,
so it's okay,
I thought
Kayla.
she was, I thought she thought maybe that she fouled or it was going the other way, but all good now. Let's see if they can score out of this out-of-bounds play. See what they execute.
Going to get going early. Get the confidence up high for the final 9.5 minutes. Shot clock winding down to 3. George flips it up. Good defense again from Hillman, and the Flyers will take over. Great defensive set from the Flyers out of the 3-quarter time break.
It really was. I was watching them as a team, and they were in the right places. They were in the stance. They were pointing. They were moving.
One player the Flames will really want to get going as the elbow jumper goes down for Maddie Rocci is Michaela Roof just the 2 points. Yeah, does have 5 assists and 4 rebounds, so having an impact elsewhere, but just the 2 points in this one after the massive performance in round 1 as Shanice Swain draws the foul and will go to the free throw line for 2. Always a great way to try and get yourself back into a game and claw back a margin, isn't it, Laurie? Get to the foul line, stop the clock, and get some freebies up.
It is. Bet Cole's not sure about that.
Wasn't too pleased. Did enjoy how she stood just in front of the shooter, so she had a good chance to just talk to the official without the official being distracted.
And we could see Christy Harrow there in her first official season as a head coach, and Joe Woods, her assistant, and Bernie Harrower is on the bench as well.
Looking to get that first win as a head coach. Coming off a good season with the Keilor Thunder in the NBL 1 South Division. Luffridge has got some handy moves, had to flip that one high, nearly took it off Kayla George, but the Flames down by 10, get the ball back. George is trailing. Roof was open, finally got her the ball. Good scramble defense. Kicked out for 3 and got it to go. A handy basket, a much needed basket, Carla Pittman.
They certainly did need that. Good inside out movement.
So back to single digits. And Kayla Vaughn getting an extended run here for the Flyers. Most minutes we've seen her play so far this season. Deep 3 from the car park. Maddie Rocci hit back iron. Again, and that one, a little tough. Double team came from the weak side immediately on the catch and didn't have much chance to do anything with it.
It's number 17 too.
Cole with some space. Just looked like they were momentarily into a bit of a zone there, the Flames. So we'll keep an eye on that out of this sideline out of bounds. Shot clock will reset to 15. Sorry, 14, apologies. Kunek back into the game for the Flyers. Will give and get back. Single digits on the shot clock.
The bench, whether she's starting, just whatever minute she plays, you know, are really effective.
Ball pinging around here for the Flames, but the scramble defense again brilliant for Southside, although Sydney will keep it here as Cole try to flick it back in. Making plenty of extra passes, but just not quite getting the open looks that they wanted, and we've got a timeout on the floor with the Flyers leading this ball game by 9. Sydney with possession, 7:20 left in the game. And really it's slowly becoming a case of now or never for Sydney. We know that their three-point shooting will allow them to get back into the game in a hurry, but they want to get to work, Laurie Chisholm.
Well, they've got to come up with something different right now. So right now they're turning the ball over too much, so that you need to make sure that you're getting a good look at the basket every single time down the floor. You know, whether that's running some more set plays, setting better screens, cutting harder to score, which is really hard at this stage of the game, but that's what you need to do. You need to cut to score. You need to headhunt your screens. Everything's got to be now done with some precision.
And it's been clear here from the Flyers that anytime that Kayla George or Michaela Roof have looked to get that seal down low, is that the double comes from the weak side in a hurry. And the rotations are on point, which is impressive for early in the season and for a team that has given up 94 and 90 points in their first 2 games.
I agree. I think their defense, especially this last quarter, I think has been, you know, they look really focused on what they want to do. You can see them talking. You can see everything they do is aggressively. There's no second guessing. And that's what they needed. This, you know, hopefully they learned from their game against Geelong when they had that loss, that close loss, that they need to really just dig in right now. But you can see hands in the passing lane. You can see, you know, bumping cutters.
And the one time that they don't send the double on a little low block entry feed like that, and that's going to be a foul as Maddie Rocci takes another heavy hit. Kayla George got a pretty good look, one that she'd normally make, so
yeah.
Flames got to make sure that they execute when given the opportunity. Maddie Rocci been in the wars. You can see she grabbing her neck after that hit. She had a hard landing on a Kayla George attempted block. She, of course, had that knock to the head on a off-ball screen, so she's going through it, but she's still out there. Good kick to Kunek for 3, no. But Rebecca Cole, another offensive rebound, her third of the contest. This time she can't get the second chance points.
And while that shot didn't go in from Alice Kunek, it was a well executed offense, but that certainly did go in for Swain, and they needed that basket.
Did not think twice about it. No. Stepped into the 3 and just went whack. Back to 6. Swain's got 12. Cole, did she get stripped? Fight for the loose ball. And it is going to be a jump ball, so good defensive possession from Shanice Swain after burying the triple. It's going to stay with the Flyers. There's also always that one person from the opposition that starts asking for 3 in the key when somebody falls over with the ball in the paint. Just to give you some insight, Laurie, that's normally me who does that.
Never heard that call for somebody on the floor.
They're in the paint, Laurie, they're in the paint. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Cole will get it back, step back 3, that is deep. Had to get it up with the shot clock winding down. George with the rebound back to Swain. Will she pull up again? Definitely thought about it, but maybe just a little ball handling error. And they get through their set. Branko Dezano been a little bit quiet in the second half. Heavy contact and a travel called. Turnover again for Sydney. Flyers will take over, 6 minutes to play in the 4th.
I mean, there's still lots of time left in this game. Either team, you know, Sydney well and truly could go on a little bit of a run.
Hillman was dominant in that 3rd. Can she get going here in the 4th? Wanted the low post feed to Kunek. Now Kunek does get it, this time on the perimeter. Kick to Rocci. Shot clock winding down again. Earns from the car park. Comes off back iron. Kayla George, another offensive rebound. Cole up and in. Beck Cole should have a double-double now with rebounds. And what a steal from Rocci. The tip back to Kunek. Everything going the way of the Flyers.
Well, you'd have to say Beck Cole's had a couple of times where she's been in the right place at the right time.
Certainly has, and has taken full advantage for the most part. Back out to 8. Again, a slow possession. Hillman draws the foul and she'll go to the free throw line, a play she's enjoyed so far in this game, and look to push it back out to double digits.
I feel that Southside are doing a good job of the play before, a lot of movement. We can see a timeout's being called now. And then that last play, they were just focused on the mismatch with Hillman. So they're playing smart basketball right now and mixing it up, the Flyers.
And although the stagnant possessions are sometimes limiting the offense, it is draining the clock, because the last few times down the floor it's been inside 6 or so seconds, but they end up getting some decent looks, putting points on the board, plus taking time off the clock, which when you're in the lead in the final quarter is certainly pretty handy. Now Beck Cole, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 4 of them offensive. Not sure how many rebound double-doubles she would have had in the WNBL, but she can chalk this one up, has been relentless on the glass in this one.
Well, and so impressive considering especially her slow start to the first quarter, where we mentioned she might look a little bit fatigued. I guess that second wind kicked in, that desire, I'm a captain, I've got to carry this team. But she's certainly, you know, had a big impact after that first quarter.
So what would you like to see different from the Flames here, Laurie, out of this timeout? 5:08 opposition to the free throw line, chance to push it out to 10 points. It's obviously not desperation stakes just yet, a long time to play in this last quarter, but what would you like to see them do a little bit differently?
Well, I think, one, and we've said it over and over, you need to take care of the ball and make sure that you get a shot every single time. You know, I liked the high-low action between Ruth and George. You know, those two playing together, take advantage of that action. You know, don't feel that scoreboard pressure yet that you need to be shooting threes all the time. Have a look inside, see what's there, go up strongly, finish, or get yourself to the foul line.
So splits the pair there, Hillman, who's 7 of 8 from the free throw. And I'd love to see them run something from Michaela Ruth. Can she just get going here in this last quarter? She's been the one, arguably the missing piece at the moment for them. They look to get the ball there, but the collapse, and they've been collapsing so hard, the Flyers, and with good hands in there, cause another turnover.
Well, you have to realize that the Flyers were going to go, oh, that's a
big elbow from Beck Cole.
Yeah. That Ruth had 25 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists last game. So she was obviously going to be a focus for the Flyers to try and shut her down or limit her options. And they've done a great job with that. Good scouting by the coaches.
No doubt. Swain downhill, stops and pops
Great
and
job.
puts it in.
That's showing her athleticism, her strength.
So back to 7. They forced a turnover. They get a quick score. And this is going to be a block. Brancatisano is out there hounding the guards. And she got a charge on the last one. And she goes 50-50. She gets called for the block here, which is her 3rd personal. Michaela Ruth, the only one in real foul trouble. She's got 4. Cole and Kunek with 3 apiece. Very slow possession again here, Laurie.
Well, it's a play they've run all game, but it's just a little bit not quite as quick, but good poise by Maddie Rocci.
Celeste Taylor just ripped it and said, I'll have that, thank you very much. Another player who's been a little bit quiet in this game. And a foul called off the ball. That one, I think, going to go against Beck Cole, so that is her 4th foul. So Cole with 4, Ruth with 4, and 4 minutes to play. Some things just work out sometimes, Laurie, don't they?
You could see the coaches in the background going 4. You've got 4 fouls.
Just sometimes it all just comes
just
together.
That synergy, Matt.
Good to know that even on the teams and the coaches and the combox and the ref, we're all on the same page to start WNBL 24. Brancatisano, corner 3. She likes that spot. And we're back to a 4-point ball game. There's the 4 again, Laurie.
Southside are going to start having visions of their game against Geelong.
I'm mistaken. I think it's been called a long 2. So maybe a 5-point game at the moment. That they'll get another look. Swain, quick trigger. That one always looked off out of the hand. Celeste Taylor a rebound. Ruth, Swain. Good hands from Rocci. Ball loose. Hillman. Swain fell down on it. Trickles out of bounds. Nobody knows which way it's going to go. And I think it's going to stay with the Sydney Flames. See if you can get any idea of whose hands this came off. Maybe Hillman's.
I don't know.
In terms of the way that the bodies were going, it looked like it might have come off Hillman. 4.8 on the clock. Got to go quick. George, Taylor, got to shoot the ball.
Oh, did they know that?
Great play from Maddie Rocci, who takes another hit on the hip, but she comes up with the stop. A fantastic defensive set from the Flyers.
Oh, she is going to be sore tomorrow.
She certainly is. She'll be happy there's no such thing as a triple header for the Flyers, because she has been in the wars. And you can see, knew that there was not enough time for the pass from Celeste Taylor to go onto her player and get a shot up, so she was happy to take the risk, and it paid off.
It's really important that the Flyers now show a lot of poise out there. Don't, as they did the other day, turn the ball over, just get through their stuff.
Inside 3 minutes to play, leads at 5. somehow that has ended up in Alice Kunek's hands. I have no idea how, but it results in 2. When things go your way, Laurie, they go your way.
Well, it was a good execution. They ran what they wanted to do, but she just didn't quite have the right position. But anyway, somehow she came up with it.
Roof triple teamed. It's been physical. Foul is called. And they have just been collapsing very, very hard, the Flyers. I believe they are in the bonus, so a sore Michaela Roof will go to the free throw line. And as soon as Southside see a slightly loose ball, they pounce.
But this is the advantage for Sydney, as you mentioned. The clock stops. You know, they can hopefully get these 2 points to bring it to a 5-point game. 2.5 minutes to go.
First trip to the free throw line, Michaela Roof makes the first, just her 3rd point of this game has been well held by the Southside defense. And gets the friendly roll on the second as well. 76-71. Flyers in control of this game at the moment. Happy to take some time off the clock. Good pressure off the ball from Celeste Taylor. Switches over to Cole. No moving screen call. Beck Cole steps into the deep 2, and she's pretty pumped up about it as well. Timeout on the floor. Flyers up by 7.
Well, again, it was a great decision by Beck Cole coming off that screen, and nothing was called, and she was wide open for that mid-range jumper. And it's been so effective for Beck Cole.
Long live the mid-range, Laurie. We've been pumped up about it all night tonight. Just as Beck Cole was pumped up with that make, she's up to 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. A fantastic night at the office for Beck Cole as the Flyers look to close out their first win of WNBL 25. However, there's still 2 minutes and 18 to play. We know this Flames team can really make it rain from deep. They're trailed by 7. Don't have to go all 3-point baskets at the moment, but you're probably running some sets that have a number of 3-point looks, you'd think, like.
Well, and, you know, there's a few players out there, in particular Swain, George, and Bracatisano, that are super 3-point shooters. So maybe it's a matter of getting your feet in the paint, letting the defense get it to Michaela Roof, knowing that they're going to collapse on her, but her knowing that she's going to actually get it and kick it out straight away to a 3-point shooter, because they have consistently, the Flyers, just really gone all over Roof when she gets the ball inside.
They certainly have, like a moth to a flame, you might say, Laurie, against the Flames. 2:18 left in this one. We've got plenty of basketball to play in this, but don't forget, this is only game 1 of a Saturday night doubleheader. We've also got the Adelaide Lightning hosting the Perth Lynx at 8 p.m. tonight, so make sure you tune into that one, have that quick little break in between games, get a quick feed, and then get back on and watch the Perth Lynx travel and play the Adelaide Lightning. There's a foul there, and that's going to be free throws, so the free throw game may be starting to play a factor, Laurie.
They really got out of jail there, Sydney, because that pass was not going to make it to Kayla here.
Yeah, just a little unnecessary one there from Carly Ernst, just trying to reach around.
But exactly what the Flames want.
Shimmy Swain steps up, hits the first. Just get the feeling this game's got another twist to it, don't you, Laurie? Just get the feeling that maybe the Flames have one last little push in them. They're stopping a score here, and all of a sudden things get very, very interesting. 5-point ball game. The Southside offense has just stopped really for the last 2 minutes. Beck Cole created a little bit in the last possession. Can she create again? She can. The mid-range again from Beck Cole.
She is playing such good, intelligent basketball, reading what her defender is giving her and playing accordingly.
Slow offense here from the Flames. Nice hesitation from Swain. Big block, Naz Hillman. Came from the weak side and said, get that weak stuff out of here. And that's going to be a foul and free throws to come for Beck Cole, who wasn't happy with the attention from Shanice Swain. But she will go to the line with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and as you say, Laurie, is just doing what the defense gives her.
Yes.
And scoring in bunches.
And that's, you know, when a player can do that, when you scout them and say, you know, Beck Cole's a three-point shooter or a driver, and so then when all of a sudden she can now come off screens, look at her roller, because we know she's a good passer, but just pull up instead and be so effective with that. Tough to defend.
Having a fantastic game, no doubt about that. Up to 24 points now with those two mates. Leads out to 9, inside 90 seconds. Have to get busy in a hurry here. Kalia's come into the game for Shanice Swain.
They really need to look at some three-point shooting now, but I'm sure the Southside's going to know that that's the case and switch everything, carry a hand to the three-point line.
Again, just forcing them to take up a lot of clock. But Kayla George comes up when her team needed her. 1:08 left in this one. Back to 6 points. Pressure's up. They don't have to start fouling just yet. Foul would send them to the free throw line. And they do foul, so a little bit unnecessary. Still with a minute to play. And it looked as though that Kayla George basket was called a deep 2 again. So 2 on the line means it's only a 7-point, it is out to a 7-point game, I should say, as Maddie Rocci heads to the free throw line. And did absolutely everything but drop.
Except go in. Wow, she's battled hard this game. 14 points. New headband.
Then in the walls, makes the second, splits the peg. Leaders at 8. Have to go quickly here, the Flames. Don't have time to really get deep into a set. Need a quick early look. George should be the one you'd expect. Taking too long. Great defense from the Flyers, as you say, Laurie Chiswick. And a big block from Maddie Rocci. She's been through it all in this game, but comes up with the clutch play down the stretch. And that may very well do it here at the State Basketball Centre. The reigning champs are off to a slow start in their bid to go back-to-back. Offensive foul called on Carl Ernst, but they look like they are set to finally get their first win on the board. Look at this defensive play. Maddie Rocci. Shot blocker.
Shot blocker. Add that to the resume.
Why not? Ruth's just going to have to chuck it up. A little too strong. Ball batted back out. It's going to go to the Flyers. And with the shot clock dead, you expect that they'll dribble this one out. 83-75. The big thing for them coming into this game was defense. They had 94 points in their first game, 90 in their second against Geelong. And they've allowed just 75 in this contest. So a big plus for Southside, Laurie Chiswick.
Well, you have to say it'd be a big relief for Coach Christy Harrow, or this will be her first win as a head coach in the WNBL, so congratulations to her. But she'd be really pleased with that defensive effort.
And everyone played a role for the Flyers. There was no doubt about that. As the crowd begins to count down on the clock in front of their home fans for the first time this season, the Southside Flyers get their first W on the board as they look to go back-to-back here in WNBL 25. They are victors, 83-75 over a gallant Flames, Laurie Chiswick.
Well, I just feel like the Southside Flyers stuck to their game plan for that whole game. You know, when the Flames had a bit of a run, they didn't lose their poise, they didn't lose their their patience out there and what they were trying to do. I thought they mixed it up, and as I said, the fact that they had 4 players in double figures, led by Beck Cole with 24 points, that's a great team effort.
So as we see the two teams shake hands, the Flyers get together at centre court, we get a chance to look through and look back at what was an up and down, topsy-turvy, but entertaining game. There was no doubt about that. And you mentioned Beck Cole, who played a big role throughout the game, got the Flyers on the board early. She had 24 points, 10 rebounds, 4 of them offensive, throwing 3 assists as well. And as we said throughout the game, realised that they were rushing her off the three-point line a little bit, were collapsing when she was driving, so just stepped into those mid-range jumpers all night long.
And it was so effective for her. So, you know, that's smart basketball by Beck Cole. And we just see there a great assist. And we know there were a couple of times it just felt like everything was going right for the Flyers. And certainly the Flames had their moments as well, but turnovers were just so costly for them. 21 this game, 20 the last game. And again, I think you can put that a little bit down to a new team, you know, 3 returning players only, so they're getting used to each other, but they've got to find a ways and a means to cut down on that turnover count.
Yeah, 2 games of 20-plus turnovers. They're arguably a little bit lucky to have 2 wins on the board, although the opening quarter of that first game in round 1, they shot the lights out. Some of the other contributors for the Flyers, well, Naz Hillman, 19 points. She only took 7 shots. She was 6 of 7 from the field, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds as well. A super efficient night from her. And Maddie Rocci, we mentioned throughout the broadcast, it was in the absolute wars, got opened up just prior to halftime, got patched up, got a nice little headband, we're calling it, and came out. She finished with 15 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. And for the Flames, well, Kayla George put in an absolute monster effort, Laurie. 22 points, 14 rebounds, did everything that she could, but they just couldn't walk away with the W.
Yeah, they needed somebody else to really step up. You know, Swain had her moments, but again, a few turnovers. But certainly Kayla George is leading by example for this Flames team.
And Michaela Roof and Celeste Taylor only combining for 6 points, 2 of 10 from the field. You're not going to get many games where that's going to happen, so no doubt they will look to improve, and with that, surely the Flames will improve as well. Well, of all the players that we've mentioned, the clear standout, no doubt about that, was Beck Cole. What a fantastic game that she had. 24 points, as we mentioned, 11 of 22 from the field, 10 rebounds, and no doubt our player of the game, Beck Cole. In terms of moving forward, well, we look ahead and we can see those numbers there. 3 assists, 2 steals, and what I love is the 4 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and she made use of those. So that just meant she had that mindset that whenever her teammates were shooting, she was going in there. She was really worked hard. Her work ethic, considering I thought she looked a bit tired that first quarter, the rest of the game was exemplary.
Certainly was. We look ahead to next week for these 2 teams. The Flames, they kick off round 3 against the Bendigo Spirit on Wednesday night, so a big game for them. And the Flyers will get a much needed and much required break. They get just over a week off. They play on Sunday against the Caps back at the State Basketball Centre. That one coming live on 9 Go. So an entertaining opening game of this Saturday night doubleheader, but the important thing in that sentence is, Laurie, it's a doubleheader, so we've still got one more game to come. Don't forget to tune in just a tick over an hour as the Adelaide Lightning play host to the Perth Lynx at Adelaide 36 Arena. But in game 1, the Southside Flyers walk away winners 83-75.